Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in on this fine Wednesday here on the Bond Network. On this fine Wednesday, and it is an absolute pleasure to be back with you today. Welcome, everybody. American Anchor Baby. Got a couple things we got to get into, okay? We got some stuff to get into here. As they say, as another host says, oh, we got some stuff. Ooh! I might even have to give you a ooh-wee. Okay, no, let me calm down with the ooh-wee. Because now I'm setting it up like, if I had like I'm going to get you saved, then I'll say a ooh-wee. Then I'll hit you with the ooh-wee. But look, folks, appreciate you tuning in. 888-775-3773. If you want to talk to the Anchor Baby, we're in the chair today. So you got to call 888-775-3773. I'm live on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. And I see all of you rolling in. Thank you. Much appreciated already with the antagonism. The so-called American Anchor Baby, so-called. Are you doubting my abuse of the citizenship status of America? I will have you know that I'm a bona fide American Anchor Baby. In the fullness of the phrase. I mean, you have to be watching the show. Okay, you got to understand. But I appreciate the antagonism and everybody else. Look, maybe you don't like the stream. Leave a comment. But don't be rude. Don't be rude. Come in and you kick your chair, kick your feet up. Like, where's the food? Hey, fix me a plate. And you don't even click the like button. You don't even say hello. Say hello. Click the like button. Don't be rude. Show some decorum, even in this declining fallen state. Be better. Be perfect, in fact. In a perfect world, they say, in a perfect world, everyone would like your stream. In a perfect world, people would show decorum. And that's why I don't put my shopping cart back. It's just not a perfect world. All I hear are excuses. In a perfect world, that's another one of those excuses to not live in that perfect world. I'm messing around some conversations with people close to me. We're having fun here, though. We're getting started on the American Anchor Baby post-debate. And it was an interesting night, no? I do want to give you some thoughts I didn't get to. Real quick, we'll do that in a moment. We will do that in a moment, but I want to dive right in. He abusing it so well. This is your home now, Nit. I don't know if 4 easy 777. I don't know what spirit you're saying that in, but it's funny. It's got levels. It's got levels. That statement right there. This is your home now, Nit. You and other undesirables. But I have the heart of an American, and I'm voting Trump. So come on, that can't be that bad, right? I know we got some Trump critics here, and you're not liberals. I wouldn't call you all liberals. So definitely unique, very interesting. God's love for Easy 777 says he said it with God's love. Not Haitian bleep cat love. Amazing. Wait, hold on. Who's this dark? Do we have an? Who's this dark person? This dark a figure in my chat. There seems to have been a. You know how Superman has like what? What's the other guy? What's the one that's like anti-Superman? Like weirdo Superman, right? Bizarro Superman. It's like Bizarro C-Cell in the chat. This is some inside baseball with the chat. Are you not in the chat? Are you? That's probably because you don't even say hi. You walk in and you just ask for food. If you had said hi, you may have met the lovely and sometimes snakes in the chat. But we have Bizarro C-Cell possibly in the chat. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. Let's not get derailed. Because it's 9/11. It's 9/11. And I'm not going to talk about the buildings, but I'm talking about Elon Musk's own 9/11. He has caused a 9/11 2024. 9/11 2024. Elon Musk. Shots fired. And basically nobody important is getting outraged. Just like losers and stuff. Like the mainstream media, right? Elon Musk fined Taylor with a cryptic message. I mean, seemingly cryptic if you don't know the context. He says, "Fine, Taylor. You win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life." He says on his own platform that he bought. No way. This guy's doing like sexual terrorism. This billionaire has bought a platform to basically be a digital rapist, is what they'll say. Is the vibe behind some of this reporting. Okay. Well, now what the heck is Elon Musk talking about? What did he set off here with these divisive comments? You mean you're going to make her a mother? How could you? So divisive. You mean make her a mother and bring life into the world in a world that seems to be declining in a particular population and their nations, I'm talking about white people, seem to decline along with them. And Taylor, so sorry, I know, divisive, so horrible. He says, "I will give you a child and guard your cats." He's responding to her recent endorsement. Basically, she came out and endorsed Kamala Harris right after this debate. Right after the debate, this debate went down. Clips are all coming out. It's all Trump. Boom. The Taylor Swift Kamala endorsement. It hits. People were waiting. I don't know. I guess like political people. The strategists, the generals, what a mess. We're waiting for this to drop. Taylor Swift's endorsement right after the debate. Interesting timing. You know how news cycles are. It's an old tactic, okay? I'm not here accusing anyone of anything, but it's an old tactic. An old tactic to grab a news cycle to deflect from a negative press on another thing, right? Usually with celebrities, but politicians. And so they're coming out, they're putting out the articles, and they're saying Elon Musk tweeted disturbing sexual comment to apparently Taylor Swift. They're saying, look at this one. Look at this headline. Elon Musk threatens Taylor Swift. No, oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. You see this mess? Sorry, triple ads. Elon Musk threatens, Rolling Stone, Elon Musk threatens Taylor Swift. Threatens Taylor Swift after Harris endorsement. "I will give you a child," they quote him. That's the threat. I will, what? I guess the implication is to impregnate against her will. It's ridiculous. Honestly, you know this. Miles Klee. It's ridiculous. Miles Klee, the author of this article. Not a woman, but possibly female-minded. I mean, I'll just let you make your own judgment. Here. Why are you laughing, Bill? What's so funny? He's just holding his dog in his V-neck and his tiny little arms, and he's okay. Whatever. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, author of this article. The screeches, honestly, all too familiar. All too familiar. From the media, just lie, right? Threatens. The threat to use that word is, we shouldn't be surprised with the media, but to use that word is really just nasty. And this all too familiar, like feminine screeches, without substance, but to just demonize. Oh, he's a man, he's a dirty man. Even if it's coming from a so-called male Democrat, you know, it seems like this 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 in the image of a nagging woman or screeching woman, perfect imagery for who's endorsing which side. So Taylor Swift, I mean, I'm sure you know by now, she posts this little cat. Makes a big old stink about. Like many of you, I watched the debate. I did research, and as a voter, I'm going to make it clear who I'm voting for. She makes this little point about the AI. You know, the AI-generated images? Remember they generated these images of Taylor Swift supporters for Trump? She's saying, oh, that scared me. She's saying it conjured up my fears. Scared women conjured up my fears around AI. Scared women voting. What a travesty. Conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. Can we nitpick about misinformation? I remember watching the Hake Report. One of those images was real. There was one young lady who did start like a Swifties for Trump kind of thing, no? You'll have to watch the Hake Report for the reporting on that. But moving on from the nitpicking, she's voting Kamala. I will be casting my vote for the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because she fights for the rights and causes I believe in. I believe need a warrior to champion them. She's steady-handed, gifted leader, blah, blah, blah. And she's particularly impressed how Tim Walz has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, women's right to choose. You've heard it all before. And she signs it, childless cat lady. It's a little dig to the Vance comments about childless cat ladies. So she's being all cute. I'm a childless cat lady. So, Elon Musk is offering to save her from such a fate. But okay, whatever. I mean, he's just a international playboy with 12 children, mostly boys across different women. I don't know what to say. So it feels a little planned, especially when, in my opinion, Kamala, to smooth out, this is my opinion, to smooth out any negative press on Kamala Harris, in my opinion. So this brings me to this gender divide. It's just an interesting thing. You heard the reports. Gen Z, they're divided. If they're young men, they're for Trump. If they're young women, they're for Kamala. And you're seeing more and more of this divide. Unmarried women are the primary voting demographic of the Democratic Party. Some statistics and all that. But I don't think I've seen a divide like this, personally, where if you're voting for Trump, where if you're voting for Trump, you're usually annoyed by these nagging points. Oh, that's just an attack on democracy. You're annoyed by that. You like a tough guy. You see the toughness standing up to attacks. And if you're one of these basically women that hate men, masculinely they hate, or one of these cucked guys, you're voting Kamala. It's just how it goes. So we had late night cereal last night after the debate, LNC. We all brought out our bowls. We had our late night cereal, and we talked over some of our initial thoughts on the debate. Took some calls. By the way, 888-775-3773 if you want to call. And Trump, like I was saying last night, Trump won that. It's not like I'm saying he won the presidency, okay? You got to understand, it's like a performance thing. Who's getting clipped up? Who dominated? I mean, it's just clear. It's Trump. Trump in the bag in that sense. But the election remains competitive due to the nature of the people right now. Like I was saying, either you're a man and you want things to function, you like freedom, or you're a nagging woman, one of these cuck dudes. Say it's time for a change. It's time to kill the baby. I mean, a woman's right to choose. A woman's right to... What more do you want? What more? We want autonomy. We want our rights. What more do women want? No, we want the right to pick and choose who lives and dies. That's not enough. That's not enough. We must pick and choose. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. But it remains effective. And I think if you were watching Kamala, you were excited for her. And if you were watching Trump, you were excited for him. And that's why, for me, it was great. Because it feels like maybe there was some... Maybe some lack of that excitement. Like, oh, where's Trump? I'm seeing a lot more GOP. I'm seeing GOP, not Trump. So it was great that he energized his base in that way. And he was Trump in every way. I think you could criticize that. I think you can. And sure, but you can't say it wasn't Trump, which was, I think, a worse criticism lately than anything else. So for that, I'm happy. And it was an exciting debate for his supporters. No doubt it was for her as well. But I don't think as solid or as definite as Trump. You know, her throat was dry. She's nervous. And Trump dominated the sound bites and the attention afterwards. And that's a win in a sense, okay? And that's how it hit me, because not like he won the presidency, but in one night. But that this is Trump and not the GOP. So I was happy for that. And it's called a debate. They call it a debate. And so I guess people are primed and they go into these things expecting the candidate to convince the other side to, they call it a debate. So people watch it, you're primed for, are you going to convert the people? Are you going to get the independents? And I get that impression because that's what a lot of people, even supporters, seem to be worried about. How the public is taking it, which is its own topic. We can get into that. But, people are instantly wondering, oh, how's the media going to spin and how are they going to lie? Which is what they do. They've been doing it. We just need Trump to be him, to energize the people that believe in him. And because these beta males and hateful women have made their choice. Okay. And I've seen some of this criticism. I've been listening to many sides. I'm listening to Michael Tracy, the Groyper War, Fuentes, they had some interesting criticisms. And I think that energy maybe has even gotten to the Trump camp, I think. Anyways, look, great W's for Trump. So we saw the debate, had our thoughts, but then I started seeing the public responses. And, maybe some things, you start seeing the shallowness of the people, the Haitian debacle. I thought it was great. But, for people, it's like too far. And they're fighting over dumb things. So, hopefully we can get into a bunch of things here. 888-775-3773. I'm waiting for the real criticisms. It really is shallow on all sides. But the media will lie. Yeah, that's what they do. If you wanted to criticize Trump, maybe you could talk about some extreme stances on war, for example, like this Iran and Israel stuff. Look, I think he's the man of peace. Look, but all this war stuff has been so revealing how these candidates have to navigate these beasts in the background that we don't even know. With Kamala saying, "No, I've lived my whole life. I lived my whole life supporting Israel," or something like that. I swear. And I think it's some of this language is a little extreme on war and all that. So they want to strike Russia, for God's sakes. If you wanted to criticize, the Trump, all that stuff, Ukraine. It was a fine question earlier it's a fine question about Trump and Ukraine and NATO and money, okay? Look, whatever. Trump praising Mike Pompeo for reneging on the Doha agreement and Afghanistan, basically. They agreed hey, Taliban, we'll get out of here, but you got to agree to a bunch of things. But then they didn't do that. What I'm saying with that in a clunky way is, you know, if you wanted to, like, I'm waiting for some like high level, highbrow criticisms, high IQ criticisms. Like if you're can we talk about what this anti-war stuff? Like being anti-war, I think he really wants that, but just how difficult that is. It's an interesting thing to realize just how difficult that is, how the literal generals went against him in his first term. How all these little actors in the background, like Mike Pompeo, just pulling him to, no, you can't stop the wars. You can't stop the wars. I'm going off on a tangent, but look, I think this debate was what I wanted to see in a sense. It turns out his own people, it sure made, I think, his supporters excited, but it remains competitive for many reasons. You know, women are so messed up. They're so messed up right now. I heard someone say this, and it's just so true. They're so messed up. It's like hate. It's like hatred of men. And gay. It's like, Kamala's a brat. What's a brat anyways? You know that Charlie XCX song, 360, and it's like this whole thing where Kamala Harris is a brat. I'm sure you know about a little bit of this. But what the heck is a brat anyways? A brat is like a party slut with makeup running down her face. That's the whole vibe of the Charlie XCX song. And it's like, I'm a party slut and I don't care and I got makeup running down my face and I'm hot and blah, blah, blah. Kamala's so brat. So that's why these childless cat women and gays like Kamala. Empty. You know what a brat is, Bill? He knows the original meaning. Kamala's a brat that way too, a little bratty. But it's this whole pop star and her song and all this crap basically. So that's what a brat is, right? It's like a coke slut. Am I allowed to say that? Whatever. Anyways, amazing. We love the cat. We love the cat ladies. They should vote for Trump too, okay? We love the childless cat ladies. Shout out to the childless cat ladies. It's not that simple of a story. Okay? Some of them stopped hating men. Okay, anyways, look, I got some more stuff here, some post-debate stuff. I want to maybe talk about this. I want to clear up this Haitian debacle and some two incredible stories coming out of that. Because, you know, you got everybody saying like, oh, it's all fake. And they're fighting over these little things. Like you got all the Facebook boomers posting that video of that black woman in Ohio, you know, arrested by police for killing a cat and eating it. That's real. But she's not I can't confirm if she is or isn't a Haitian migrant, but apparently has been a U.S. citizen for 6 years. Now, where was she before that? But hey, fine. Maybe it's not a Haitian migrant. And so the Facebook boomers are sharing that when they're saying, Trump is lying about the cat thing, the Facebook boomers will share that video, and then all the liberals are like, look at them, there they go, more misinformation. While the Facebook boomers are like, there's literal video proof. It's all messy and clunky, but anybody going against the whole cat thing is just going along with the media and the establishment. They really are, because that's a nitpick. And okay, fine. Sometimes we do a little nitpicking. See, I hate doing it. This is why I hate nitpicking. Now you understand. They're just nitpicking to deflect from the reality that these Haitians are raised in hell in Ohio. And there's people saying it. So I want to clear this up. Get into a whole bunch of things. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, Bill, man. Bill's in the studio. He's never in the studio. I love asking him stuff. But you're more than welcome to just jump in the couch, man, if you ever do have something to say. But check his Trump. They're saying they want a rematch. They're saying they want a rematch. Carver, the nitpicking shirt. I got such a good idea, and it's going to require some true artistry. You just gotta wait. Now you can walk through if you're trying to walk through. Don't worry about it. Rematch. You know they're asking for a rematch? Kamala's people are like, we want a rematch. Isn't that what you do when you lose? You know what I mean? I don't know if you saw this. Might as well show you.
It's like a fighter.
Oopsies. They're saying they want a rematch. We want a rematch.
Rules, you want a different format? Well, you know, when you...
Horrible audio, but hopefully you can make it out.
When you don't win, it's like a fighter. When a fighter has a bad fight, gets knocked out, or loses the fight, the first thing he says is, we want a rematch. So, we won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that, are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know. But we'll think about it. Would you still do the one rules?
We'll think about it. Yeah, that's the... let me close all these tabs. That's a little bit of some of the post-debate news. They're saying they want a rematch. You got to wonder. It's funny, too, when you see the arm of the Democratic Party, the mainstream media, with their little headlines about this very story. Look, Trump tried to push Harris into more debates. Now he's not sure he'll do another, trying to make it look bad on him that he didn't necessarily agree to a rematch. Oh, look at him. He's scared. Hold up. The losers ask for a rematch, usually. So deflecting. They love it. And here's a little bit about the public on maybe the public's reaction. And the public's reaction has its place, for the people who saw Trump as maybe annoyed, for the people who saw Trump a number of ways. Those are fair. Your feelings are valid. Don't worry. You're being validated. You're being validated in the sense that it's, even if it's a dumb response, it's the public response. Here's what I'm getting at. These are some of these X accounts who aren't necessarily political. They're pretty more like pop culture, hip hop, maybe even like, look. And, they're reacting to the whole illegals are eating cats and dogs. And the moderator saying, no, they're not. And it's kind of a negative on Trump. I thought it was a great move. I still think it's a great move to bring it up. It puts them on the back foot. But maybe it's like kind of too far for some. They're ridiculous for that. They don't want to see the chaos these Haitians are raising. But I'm trying to show you some of the public responses. It's like one of those things that they're being shallow about. Should we watch this Dr. Phil focus group? Do you guys want more of what the public may have felt like? You think Dr. Phil's a good focus group? You think we're getting a good pulse on the nation here?
Under-deliver or did it deliver? Let me ask you this. This debate, which was really hyped as being a big thing, did this under-deliver or did it deliver? Did this actually mean something to you? In the back, stand up.
Hi, my name is Shelley. I'm also standing, so. I think, I came into this with an open mind. I really, really wanted Vice President Harris to hit it out of the park. I don't think she did. I think she did better than some people expected her to. The cackle was not there. I kept waiting for it, and it didn't come.
Oh, she wanted the cackle.
I still didn't get answers. I didn't get answers.
This is a Kamala Harris supporter? A Kamala Harris supporter calling it a cackle? Plant. This is a Republican plant. No.
Answers to fundamental questions that we need to know as voters. And we just keep getting circled around that.
Like what? What did you not get an answer to?
Her economic plans. What is an opportunity economy? What does that mean? Who's paying for the tax cuts that she's proposing?
So I just want to run through this quick. A little bit of that. No, we'll skip this. Yeah, everybody raised their hands when Dr. Phil asked who was stronger on the border. They raised their hands for Trump. Yeah, we'll just skip that. Let me run through this fast, okay? 888-775-3773. Is this another Republican plant?
That brought you to a conclusion.
I
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and
CNN.
not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
Was this I don't know, Republican plant? It's one of these focus groups, but they have their place. You know, they do these right after the debates, snap polls, and it's like a bump for Trump. Just wanted to report on some of that. I'll shout out to the time JLP went on Dr. Phil and Nick tried to take more than his fair share of leg room. Was I manspreading? I think I was manspreading. Big time. Yeah, that was cool. Jesse Lee Peterson on the Dr. Phil show. You know, there was a whole segment that didn't air where they were asking the audience questions. I got in there. There was some woman who was crying. They said Jesse made her cry. I think I said some mess about her. Not mess. I was just criticizing the lines she said. Amazing. Jesse Lee Peterson on Dr. Phil. Check it out. You might see the anchor baby sitting next to him. But what else about this? That was a little bit about that. I think I had my thoughts there, you know, with the debate. So appreciate everybody who joined us last night. Appreciate it. Doubly appreciate everybody who brought LNC. I will make sure to inform you guys. Make sure you guys have your cereal ready for late night cereal. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss late night cereal. What's your top cereal, Bill? Your top, or somewhere in the top one cereal. Where would you place Special K red berries?
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near top 10?
No.
Whatever, Bill. Whatever, Bill.
I can't think of the name of it. I buy it so much that I don't even remember the name. I just remember the look. I don't remember what it is.
Bill doesn't like my Special K red berries pocket pick.
Nope.
Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that. I think here 888-775-3773. Isn't it crazy how it's so divided? It's like men, Republican, women, and beta males, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the women thing is like the abortion thing. That's kind of the one question that comes to mind, you know? So if the abortion thing wasn't an issue, how high would it be? How for the single women, or would it be the same? You know.
Well, all they had was abortion. That's what they hit on.
Okay.
So that's what's bringing them out, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like everything else about the Democrats is like bad. I mean, like everything else. I mean, yeah, everything else is bad.
It's like you gotta be, if you're anybody but a woman.
Well, one thing is that if you know, I've been watching these elections for a while, and you can tell what a candidate's going to do by what they've done before. They're not going to stray far away from what they've done before. Okay, that's just how it is. You know, you see the first 4 years of someone's campaign, you know what he's going to do the next 4 years. Forget what's said. That's how it really is. And you know, we're looking at the inflation, wars, all this stuff that's going on for the last 4 years. I mean, you go to the store and the stuff you buy has like gone up significantly. everything's gone up in price. Totally, you can tell. Okay,
Yeah.
especially stuff like, I don't know, like steak or something. All the stuff, steak and milk and everything.
Yeah, like we could tell.
Yeah, it's like it's like
can't hide this
obvious.
one.
It's like totally obvious, and I don't know. It doesn't make any. I don't know why. And then the rule of law. It's like our cops are worth, because of the attack on cops. Cops are actually worth. They now have to cover their. They now have to put more of their energy into covering their back, basically, with everything they do. I mean, you could accidentally shoot somebody, and they'll treat you like you're a civilian. And we've had that happen, So cops are literally, so it's like their hands are tied to an extent, and everything's, and for that reason, it's like every cop it's like 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, one cop was actually more powerful than two cops are now, or more effective.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So
right.
you watch things going on now, cops will let things slide that you never let slide before, I saw something the other day, crazy guy drives by super fast, recklessly, and yells at the cops, and the cops just sit there and do nothing.
Wow, man.
I mean, we have that going on, and more break-ins and all kinds of stuff. It's just wild. This just stuff getting just out of control. And I don't know. I mean, I know that, this is this administration. This is the kind of stuff that they push.
You think it kind of cuts both ways? Would you say Trump would kind of be like the first term, or?
Yeah, Trump is going to be kind of like the first term. I don't know if he'll be as good as he was, quite as good as he was the first term. First of all, I don't know what he's going to be. In some ways, he's just going to be trying to undo what's just been done.
Right.
I mean, the economy's not looking that great, really. It's like, I think I heard the inflation rate is down to 2.5%, and yet things are looking like they may bring down inflation. They may bring down the borrowing rate. Was it on September? I think it's September 18th. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. They may bring down the rate. But if they bring down the rate too quick, we could have more inflation, actually.
Well, it seems like a mess. Hey, I see calls coming in. Thank you so much. Make sure, don't go anywhere. We'll get to you. 888-775-3773. There's no call screener, but you are on hold to speak with us here. Man, do you agree with me that it's like that their side is the hateful. Women that hate men. Minorities that hate white people in America. Or young people that hate their parents.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these, it's like people who come up with solutions they hate, and then they come up with this solution because they have to come up with a solution out of their hate, okay? And they come together with a solution that isn't really a solution. Something, and this is how, in real life, this works too. They come up with a solution. They hate. They come up with a solution in their mind, to like fix reality, but it really doesn't work. And you just think of how this plays out even when you're like a kid. You have no idea this is going on, but once you get angry, you come up with these solutions. Your solutions are always like the opposite of whoever you're dealing with. They're either as crazy as what the person who you hate was coming up with, or they're the opposite. And lo and behold, 20 years later, you have your own kids, and you're doing the same thing to them. And it's that you're out of balance, not balanced in your thinking.
Wow.
So, and that's what you see here. These people are like haters they've come together with the same kind of hate with the same kind of solutions, with stuff, but it's all like not really real, not workable solutions.
Wow. So how do you explain, like you're talking about inflation and the economy and stuff, would you say there's like how do you explain, it almost feels like Batman villain evil, like people who want to enrich themselves, like who's bringing all these Haitians to Ohio? It doesn't seem like anybody there wants them.
I think this is the the Democrats have become brazen to the point where they'll bring in a bunch of Democrats, bring in a bunch of immigrants to be voters, to be Democrats, so they can win. Because the rest of us here in the mainland kind of, most of us have understood what they are, and
right.
It doesn't really work what they're pushing. So, and more as things get worse with the kind of policies they come up with, us here are like, this doesn't make any sense. So they have to find new voters, to win. You know what I mean? And they're so self-centered. They're so self-centered that the leadership is so self-centered that this seems like a good idea to them. Or maybe they're globalist or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe that's part
where
of it
it's
too.
like where it's like, where they see it as there are no borders. When Kamala Harris says, I let in 100,000 people, Haitians, and we gave them temporary protective status because those people need help. It's that globalist mentality where, no, it's not about watching out for Americans. These Haitians over there have it worse than Americans. And by that very virtue, the Americans are guilty of some crime. They're guilty of living well. And so you got to help the Haitians.
But
it's crazy.
I think it's also, that person herself, feeling good about helping these people, but it's all about her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Wow.
Can I show you a video that makes me think a little bit about what you're talking about? And
go for it. I don't know if I could see it. That's a problem.
This was going around. Can you see it up there?
Oh, yeah.
I showed you a little bit of this, and I just wanted to get your live reaction because this is Andrew Tate, and this is just a funny video, okay? We're chilling out, post-debate. We got some more topics to get into, and your calls. I see all your calls coming in, 888-775-3773. We're just kicking it back a little bit. We got Bill in the studio. We love it. And Andrew Tate here explaining a little bit about the way the world works. Bill, check this out and your comments. Oh, by the way, folks, sorry, cuss words. Why are you cussing, Andrew Tate? But yeah.
Something like immigration. What it basically is the super rich people saying, I need more brokey time and energy. But the brokies, the native brokies, want too much money for their time and energy, or they want health care, or they want work standards,
pensions,
or they want pensions. No, I need pure slavery. I need slaves. So government, we would like you, using their money, we're going to give you lots of money to let in lots of immigrants so that the brokey bubble inflates with super brokies.
Super brokies. Shall I draw one?
Yeah.
How racist can I make this drawing?
As racist as possible, please. Super brokies, so that we can get the super brokies to do what we want, so I can get further up the rich scale. That's effectively what's happening. Now, when they bring in the super brokies, this is very bad for the brokies because the brokies now are less valuable. Their time is worth less. Their wages go down. Plus, they have to live amongst the super brokies. But the rich people don't care about that because the rich people don't live anywhere near the super brokies. The rich people live separate. So the rich people are asking the government to bring in all these immigrants so that they can get richer. The poor can end up poorer, and the poor areas become terrible, and the rich places stay fine. What's actually interesting is the brokey bubble is expanding in real time because they're inflating the currency because the government
in real time
also has a secret deal with these super rich people here. I'll put a star here and a star here.
Whoa, cool it.
And that deal is to print unlimited money so anyone who owns assets gets to get richer than ever before. So this is happening, which is also expanding the brokey bubble. And now we're at the point where they're actually starting to take the middle class and the people who used to be a little bit rich, and they're getting added to the brokey bubble. So the brokey bubble is now expanding out, and the kind of rich people are now becoming broke because having $3 or $4 million used to make you rich. Now it makes you a fucking peasant. It means nothing. And before you know it, you're living amongst this guy with a knife.
Your thoughts, Bill? You were saying something interesting too. That isn't this detrimental to the super rich?
I was saying that eventually this goes.
So when
this goes and messes with the rich, messes up their situation too. You know what I mean? I mean, eventually, you know, there are situations like in other countries where if you're rich, you have to watch where you're going around because they'll steal your kids, they'll kidnap you, and all kinds of stuff like this. You have to watch where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know, you have to watch where you drive around. You have to do all this kind of. Here, you really don't. You really don't.
Right.
I mean, it's like anybody can go anywhere, and it's like all right. There's a few exceptions. I mean, you wouldn't want to go and hang around with your Lamborghini late at night and maybe in some places in downtown LA or something like that. You know, there's certain areas, but we can all kind of go and do what we want. But if this thing about the super rich, it'll eventually catch up with the rich too.
So what?
I mean, why would you?
How do you explain this?
I mean, there are these rich people who, there's a part of rich people who are like after more and more and more and more and more, and there's like one kind of thing about more and more is like, so, you know, up to like a point, but beyond that, you know, I don't know, I you know, money for the sake of money. Do you just want the accolades? I mean, there are other people who they like building. They like doing
like
something.
Trump.
Yeah, they like doing something. They like building stuff. They like doing this or that, okay? That kind of thing. But then there's some other people that just seem to like accumulating money for the sake of accumulating money so that they feel powerful or something. I think you know, that level is about $100 million? What, $100 million? After about $100 million, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Can you go to outer space?
No, you can't go to outer space.
Not with 100 million? You need a little more than that.
Yeah, what? Things may change. I don't know. Things are changing, you know, maybe the next 10 years, hopefully.
Because if you could do anything, that's where for some reason, that's where my mind goes.
That's that Starship thing, you know.
Yeah,
if the Starship gets running and
I want to go out there and
gets
see
regular, you know, it'll be easy to put these things up into space where it won't be costing like $1 billion to go into space.
How much it costs those people that are going up in that Polaris thing? Might want to ask you about that later.
I don't know.
But it must we can look that up.
I know.
We'll probably look that up.
I know a regular launch is like $65 million, but you know, when it's got people on it and it's got that ship, all the preparation for the ship, all the preparation for their suits have to be made, tailor-made to them.
Right.
They have to have all this training. They have to have all this certification. NASA has to say it's all right.
Right. That's going to cost money.
That's going to cost money. I don't know how.
And it's like 4 civilians basically with a crewed space vessel going up.
Yeah,
to do some space
stuff. I think
stuff.
2 of them are SpaceX employees. I think the 2 women are SpaceX employees.
Oh, fascinating. Can we take a call together? Hey, you're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Frederick from Los Angeles.
How you doing, sir? Frederick, welcome.
Hey, Fred.
What's going on, Nick? What's up, Bill? Glad to have you here with us.
Nice. Welcome, sir.
Nick, did you look up what I was talking about? Y'all act like y'all didn't know what I was talking about.
About Ukraine?
Oh, yeah.
That was a fine question, sir. I forget what it was a little bit though. I said I think I remember that being a fine question. Like I forget exactly Trump, like why did you asked why he was giving money to Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember that being a perfectly fine question, a great one, in fact. But I think I can't even remember the conversation. I think your intention was just ridiculous. Like you were trying to deflect from the war stuff, but the war started in 2022 when Trump was not in office.
No.
You were trying to deflect from something, and I can't remember what it was. But it was a fine question.
Wasn't. Trump said he can end this war with one phone call. Why didn't he do it then instead of and
do it when?
Missiles that Obama wouldn't even give them?
Wait.
He gave them Javelin missiles that escalated
and this is what I mean.
Russia-Ukraine war.
Bill
knows about it. Ask Bill. Why would Trump give Javelin missiles to Ukraine if he can stop this war with a single phone call?
I don't know anything about this.
Frederick,
he didn't want to pick a side if he wanted Ukraine.
No, Frederick,
to win,
hold on.
But he was giving them all
No, you
stuff.
can't filibuster. Okay, you said enough. We heard you. But listen, man, Trump wasn't president when that war started.
Trump
like,
was
are you missing a crucial? He's like,
no.
Bill. He's basically saying.
President.
Let me explain to Bill. He's basically saying, because we were talking about it earlier on the JLP show. If there's all this, Trump says he's going to end the war. Why didn't he end it when he was president, basically? But the war didn't start when he was president. Now, maybe I want to give Frederick the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe he's coming at us with a high IQ thing because maybe he knows that this Ukraine business started well before 2022 when Putin did all that. Okay, it's been an ongoing thing since 2014, if not even before that. But so I kind of gave you a bone there, Frederick. Were you thinking that? Or was this a high IQ thing?
I just wanted to see. I thought you had something different. You wanted me to call in.
No, you're literally
because you're totally
wait.
off
So
base.
you don't. So you don't have a response to. You have no response to. Trump was not president. You're kind of missing a key factor here.
President, Nick.
The war started in 2022. You want to hit Google on that one?
No, I didn't say 2022. The quid pro quo was not in 2022.
No, but it wasn't a war. It wasn't a war. It wasn't a war like that. No. It's just a little unfair, and it makes me think you may not know what you're talking about if you just throw that out. Like Trump should have changed the quid pro quo. Like it's just not a response.
No, listen,
let me just say this. It's simply just not a response to Trump's comment on "I will end this war in a day." Talking about this war hold on, Frederick. This war that started in 2022. Saying what you're saying is, I don't know if it's necessarily that good of a point.
How would you escalate a war and then it starts in 2022 and say, I don't see how that pertains to Trump. He wasn't president.
Could you repeat that, please?
I don't see how Trump can go 4 years paying Ukraine payments that Obama authorized and then authorizing missiles that Obama wouldn't authorize, and then say he don't have a dog in the fight. He can't say if he wants Ukraine to win.
Because
that's wasting our resources. Why keep doing what Joe Biden doing right now? And if he put in a bill to say we're gonna keep giving Ukraine money, he's gonna say, "Oh, my hands is tied. I can't make this phone call because of what Biden did for the next 2 years. We're gonna have to keep going to war." That makes no sense.
No, I think. What are you saying, Bill?
Nothing. This doesn't make sense to me.
That makes no sense. We all agree.
Frederick, it's hard to understand Frederick because he doesn't. It feels like he doesn't quite.
If Biden signs
it feels like
law
he's
right
as
now that
he knows like as much as I do about this, like kind of sparse knowledge, and so he throws things out there.
Oh my God! It's common sense, really. Y'all know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Trump wasn't president,
Trump got y'all for
and Trump is
Putin,
talking
and
about
you
this
don't
Putin
feel
thing,
like
and he's going to
still
end
be
that.
for you.
Trump was not president when Biden was president when that went down, and I don't know if you get that key fact. I would like to maybe do something more highbrow and speak on this quid pro quo, but do you know what you even mean by that? Like,
Yeah, this for that. You find dirt on my opponent, and I'll release this money that Obama gave y'all. That's what it was.
what was?
He was president then. He said, Ukraine, I'll release this money that Obama allocated for you for dirt on my opponent, Biden. And when they found out about it, he said, oh, my bad, I'm going to release the funds.
You're doing Russia? You're doing Steele dossier stuff? Russia hoax stuff?
Trump
really?
was president, Nick. I'm telling you.
No. I'm asking you a question. You're
quid
doing
pro. He got impeached for this.
right? You're doing Steele dossier Russia hoax stuff?
No, this is no Russia hoax. This was Russia
Right.
hoax
You believe
was
it's true, but is that what
2016.
you're talking about? The Steele dossier ones?
No, that was 2016 when he first came in
Oh, okay, my
office down the escalator. Come on now, keep up.
Appreciate
How
it.
long you been watching politics? It's
8
not
years.
the Steele dossier. This is quid pro quo.
Well, I don't know. I think he's the peace president. I think he's serious about that. I think this war specifically, can still be held, can
It
still be
seemed like
dealt
he
with,
started
can
the
still be
war in
dealt with in the
Gaza.
way he's talking about, and
What
this
happened-
quid
what
pro
happened
quo is
over in
not
Gaza?
handled. You understand what I mean? Like,
Did he?
he can still
did he
hold
lose
on. He can still handle this war and make a deal with Putin and quit this quid pro quo that you're kind of like, we're both kind of speaking on. We're using these terms, I guess, because maybe we both don't really know what we're talking about here, Frederick. But I get it right. Quid pro quo. You can make a deal with Putin about this war and this quid pro quo, this machine, the $1 trillion war machine, is kind of a separate. You can say a bigger beast to tackle down the road. And I don't know if you will.
Quid pro
It's
quo
an
was
interesting
with
it's an
Zelensky.
interesting commentary because I too have seen these beasts of influence, these invisible beasts in the background of influence, running this quid pro quo you're talking about. I can't. Do you have any more commentary on that?
I don't know what you're talking about with the quid pro quos.
I'm saying that you can still make a deal with Putin, and this $1 trillion machine that you're alluding to, the war complex, the
I
quid
think
pro quo.
Kamala had it right. He's just gonna let it go.
You think Kamala? Wait. How do you think Kamala is going to handle that?
No, I said she had it right when he said he's just gonna let it go.
Here's what you're missing.
He said the first day that phone call, how he's gonna fix it. He's gonna say, "Putin, go ahead and take it because these other countries ain't paying up."
Yeah. So
Remember, he said that last night. She said that.
what did she say? She doesn't even talk to Putin. What are you talking about? Say what you said one more time for me. Speak clearly into your phone, please.
I said the reason he can handle it with one phone call, Kamala said that he would let Ukraine go to Russia. He would let it go. He'll quit fighting.
Yeah,
for
or parts of
That's
it, or parts of it. Donbass, let them keep what they have. I don't know what to tell you there, but here's what you don't get. Here's what you don't get. You're talking about quid pro quo. He's going to keep on. There's this machine in the background that has started this campaign with Ukraine since 2014. You're incredulous if Trump will really stand up to that. I think a fair criticism. But look, I'll put it like this. Here's what you don't get. These psychos are willing to start nuclear war. They're fine with it. They're okay to continue escalating with Putin. They don't care. They don't care. They're literally talking about, and I was pulling this up earlier for the people. Let me show it on screen right now. They're literally talking about here it is, Sky News. Biden is not ruling out, he says, not ruling out. I need you to see this. Not ruling out allowing Ukraine to fire deep into Russia. What do you think that's going to do? What do you think this turns into? What do you think firing American missiles deep into Russia and not leaving Moscow? What do you think that turns into?
That means Trump's gonna have to make a stand.
He's going to have to make a deal. He's going to have to make a deal.
No, at least tell us what side you're on.
The side that wants to make a deal and avoid World War III. I hope that's clear.
The only way we're going to prevent World War III is Israel having a two-state over there, and Kamala says she's for it. Trump did not say he's for a two-state over there. If we go for a one-state in Israel, it's going to be World War III, and that's Trump wanting a one state. So
no, man, that's what you're missing. You're missing. That's not how you avoid war. It takes strength. So even what you're talking about there, if that's true, the Kamala would be another caver in that as well. It takes strength, and I'm not saying there aren't extreme
It
positions.
takes strength to put a spoiled child in his place, and that's what America's going to do. We're going to put Bibi in his place and make it a two-state, and they're going to control their own selves like it should be. Iran's going to be happy, China's going to be happy, and Russia's going to have to deal with Ukraine, or we're going to go to war behind them. But Trump don't want to pick a side. It's so crazy. He know what American people's going to do. Ask Bill. It's the same thing he did in office last time.
In what way is he not picking a side?
What they did in office last time, that's what they're going to do in office this time.
In what way is he not picking a side?
Same thing. Give money to Ukraine, give them missiles, and yeah, Trump's going to play along and get along.
We'll see.
Have a good day.
Yeah, we'll see. Thanks, Frederick.
All right. Good day, Nick.
Appreciate it. Call me
Nice
again.
talking to you, Bill. All right.
Do you feel like he speaks to you? Or
I don't know.
Or
I don't agree with anything. I mean, I think the problem with Ukraine was, as far as I know, the main problem with Ukraine is Russia has had a problem with Ukraine becoming part of NATO because it's so close to the capital of Russia. And you know, as soon as Joe Biden got into office, you know, things started to fall apart. We remember the what happened over in the Middle East. I'm trying to think. I can't think of the name of that small Muslim group. They had like a thing set up where I believe it was in Iraq, where they weren't going to move anywhere from where they were and do anything. Okay, and
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. But as soon as Joe gets into office, what do? They go and break their pact with us. You know, what does he do? Nothing. And then, you know, it's like everything was in check while Trump was in office. I mean, it didn't start out that way, but it takes a while for the people who are actually in office, for their effect to get this to it's like the direction to change in such a way where that you get to see what the effect of the person who's in office is. And, you know, Joe Biden had a no war, everybody's in check, everything's cool around the world pretty much.
You mean Trump?
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, and he had that when he walked into office, and the economy was all right. I mean, we were coming off that COVID mess.
Right.
And what does he do? He gives out another 1.8, I think it was $1.8 trillion, something like that. Gives that out when it didn't need to be given out. I mean, we were lucky we didn't have inflation popping up at that point because Trump had already given out like a couple of $1 trillion
right.
as it was. He gives that out when he didn't need to. And then inflation starts shooting through the roof. We had those wars going on. We had just things falling apart all over. I just can't even recall it all right now. But
of course,
it's just like everything we had. He opened the borders right afterward. Remember, he opened the borders.
Oh yeah, he did that right away.
He did that right away.
Day one.
So, which started our inflation. The housing inflation because we got more people coming in that have to live in these,
almost like 8 million in his few years.
Yeah, in these years. He's a disaster that doesn't care. I think he cares about his elite people, millionaire folks that are right around him. But the rest of us, he doesn't, we must be invisible to him, because this stuff doesn't help us at all.
Yeah, that's how I know the story too, essentially, with Russia and this ever expanding NATO since the 90s, and the multiple kind of hey, don't do that. That's the red lines we're drawing. Russia's drawing these red lines. Don't get your missiles this close. So that's how I know the story as well. And when you, it's one thing to talk about this war machine that wants to keep expanding, doing all this stuff in the background. It's like a fine thing to bring up, and you got to realize how strong that force is, because Trump, the anti-war guy, found either, in my opinion, saw some positive strategy in funding this stuff, but at other times was trying to undo it, and the establishment turned on him. The generals didn't want to pull out in one of these moments during his presidency. They fully defied him. What I'm trying to say with that is, it's one thing to talk about that, and it's an interesting thing, but no wars were started with Trump. No wars were started. He understands, he gets that. He doesn't demonize Putin and these people as like they're just psychomaniacs. No, these are people who are just trying to do the best for their country in a certain respect. And when you have a man talking like that, you know that he's gonna like bring peace. You know that he's gonna do his best to do that, like for real. So it's just, anybody who doesn't see that kind of wants to team up with the bloodthirsty State Department, who's totally fine with putting missiles close, even at the risk of escalating war.
I think what it really is that people, you have to see where other people are coming from, and we've got people who are in office right now who are so self-centered they can't get themselves out of the equation, even with any of their, even with any kind of what's it called? Any kind of
oh, I'm not sure.
Any kind of negotiation. So any kind of a negotiation or anything like that, they can't get themselves, their personal selves, out of the equation. And so they can't see well enough to where they can go, where they can't go, and they end up getting us into wars and stuff.
Crazy.
Because when there is nothing, they can't really see when. It's like they can't see when they can't do anything, and when they can do something. You know, what's your limitation? It's they're too much about themselves, and they just tend to run things like awfully, and they get other people to run. You know, the people who they pick to run things are also run things awfully, because they're really all about themselves, and they're really just all about themselves.
Wow. On that note, can I show you a little video here? This is Thomas Massie. He spoke, here he posts this video, Representative Thomas Massie. You know, I forget where he's from. What am I? Kentucky, U.S. Representative. And here he is speaking. He posts this video and he says, "I refuse to be a thespian in the Speaker's failure theater. The 6-month continuing resolution with the SAVE Act attached is an insult to Americans' intelligence." I want to show you this real quick, since it feels like you were literally just talking about this very thing. And there's this SAVE Act that they're trying to push, the Republicans, I think. And it's supposed to be, it's a bill to basically stop illegals from voting, to save elections, okay? Check out Representative Thomas Massie on this topic. Then we'll get right back to calls. Thank you so much. 888-775-3773. Calls coming in. Thank you so much. I want to show Bill this. Check it out. Oh, hold on. Are we muted? Oh, we are muted. Apologies. Hold on. Bada bing, bada boom. Watch this.
And I would call on Mr. Massie.
Can we be honest with the American people about what's going on here? This is political theater. I'm going to call out both sides right here. It's all posturing. It's fake fighting. We all know where it ends up. This is Groundhog Day. I don't care if the Democrat is the speaker or Republican is the speaker. We always get a CR in September, and then we get an omnibus. Sometimes there's a twist on that. We might get the omnibus before Christmas, but if we're not good, it comes after Christmas. But that's what's going to happen. And in the meantime, it's political theater. We've got it's good theater. We've got great writers. I wish they'd just come up with a new plot. It's the same plot every fiscal year. What should we be doing? It's already been discussed. We should have done 12 separate bills. We should have done 12 separate bills. But again, whether Democrats are in control or Republicans are in control, we never do the 12 separate bills. Why do we always spend at least as much as we did last year, and why do we never cut spending? It's because Democrats want to grow the welfare state, and Republicans want to grow the military-industrial complex. And we're eventually going to get together, and they're both going to go up. I guarantee it. And both parties are just fine letting the bureaucrats do their thing, which should be our thing, according to Article 1, Section 8 in the Constitution. We are empowered with these things. Most
power of the purse.
Important of the things we do is the funding, and that's the big lever we have. I've sat through now almost 2 years of hearings in this Congress where we've exposed lies at the CDC, shortcuts at the FDA, unconstitutional gun bans at the ATF, over prosecution of January 6ers at the DOJ, targeting common citizens at the FBI, spying by the NSA, illegal mandates for livestock by the USDA, targeting plant vaccine or transgenic plant vaccine at the NSF, and censorship, the censorship industrial complex of which the NSF is part of, automobile kill switch at the DOT. Now, these are all things I think most Democrats are just fine with, this kind of totalitarian state that the bureaucrats are pushing on us. But Republicans at least pretend to be against these things. But what are we going to do this September? We're going to fund every freaking one of those things that we have exposed.
Yeah, I came across it and it came to mind, and I wanted to show it to you since we were literally just talking about it. Can we take some more calls? You're welcome to.
Sure.
Hey. I mean, you can stay as long as you like, but caller, your name and where are you calling from? Hey, caller. Hello. Oops.
You lost the caller.
Howdy.
What's up? Talking to you. Your name and where are you calling from?
Christopher from Texas.
Welcome to the show, Christopher. How you doing?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
All is well. Go ahead.
Man. So what's your take on the whole debate?
Yeah, I mean, we were getting into it earlier. Definitely check it out. But basically, man, Trump was in my opinion, in kind of a more classic form. And Kamala was nervous. I think they both energized their own sides. I think Trump was definitely just the bigger cannon by far. And yeah, a debate doesn't win a presidency. The election remains competitive because you got hateful people, like messed up people who they see Trump as a rapist. They see Trump as a rapist. And so you're not convincing them. Just some short notes there. What about you?
Yeah, it's pretty wild how they see that. If they were willing to really just look at all the backstory, all the history, all the... it's funny how they loved him when he was a Democrat, all the things he did in New York back in the day, all the video footage you have where, everybody from the doorman to the people, working at the hotels, the casinos, everybody had love for him, It's amazing the power of their propaganda machine.
Totally, man. I mean, how can you not have love for Trump? Even if it's like just watching him as an individual, how can you not have love for the guy? Like, hilarious, just legendary. Like, how can you?
Seriously. I'm a Southern dude, man. Like, I don't like the New York vibe, honestly, but I never thought I would really dig somebody like Trump and the political theater for what it is. It's like, if you're being real with yourself, how can you not like Trump as far as if you don't like the country, if you love the country, how can you not like Trump? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Totally. What do you say? Who's your mind and in your mind who won the debate, and in your mind who's winning the election?
Well, that's it's a tough call only because sadly in this state of affairs at this current time, you have to doubt like the legitimacy of.
And I want to ask you to be careful with your language. We are on YouTube.
Pardon me.
But you know, shenanigans. If that's what you were getting
Sun's almost down here, but not quite.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's competitive. Anything else you'd like to say here?
In a fair world, in an honest world, he's got it for sure.
Right, man. Right. Totally. Right on. Chris.
It's wild.
Christopher.
Wild
is it Chris or Christopher? Hey, is it Chris or Christopher?
Christopher.
Christopher, man. The first time calling on my show?
No, sir.
Oh, right on. Anything else you'd like? Anything else you'd like to say here before we move the wheels?
Hey, just keep what you're doing, bro.
Thank you for your call, sir. Call me again.
Yes, sir. Take care.
888-775-3773. Bill, look at this. They see me,
There.
what, young ladies. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of these men on the streets or whatever. Seemingly young ladies, right? They're asked a question by one of these men on the street guys, but it's a tough one. I just want you to see their reaction.
How many genders are there?
I feel like there's two, because like transgender.
No, Tara,
stop.
Don't say that on camera.
Yeah, but I feel like you either switch from a back to a girl.
No,
like
stop,
you can
stop,
switch
stop,
back and forth.
Stop. I feel like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to be, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, but I feel like they switch back and forth. Like, I know.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's like, you can be anything you want to be. It doesn't matter. Come on,
Yeah.
stop.
All right, I'm sorry.
How many genders?
What do you think?
Well, that's what they've been taught.
No.
I mean,
can you tell that they don't believe that though?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, but one of them takes it seriously.
Afraid.
Right.
That was fear I saw in those eyes.
Right.
That was fear.
Yeah.
What the heck? This is terrorism. Young white girls in America. And she's like,
Well,
stop. Our lives are about to be ruined. Stop. That's what I saw. She's like, stop talking. You're literally about to ruin our lives. We're going to get canceled. We're going to lose our friends. We're going to lose job opportunities. We're going to get our accounts banned. I don't know how far it'll go, but it depends on what she says, but in
They're
America.
gonna get hated on.
Huh?
So they're scared of getting hated on.
Right.
Well, one of them is. One of them's trying to be honest.
Isn't that? yeah, trying. And her friend's like, stop, you're going to ruin everything. You're going to ruin our lives. That's horrible in America. Isn't this proof, though, that women shouldn't vote?
I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if I don't know.
Fear.
I mean, but it is kind of funny
dictates
that we
her.
have so many women voting for stuff that's like not. I mean, vote for gun control. Women voting for gun control. I mean, that basically.
Oh.
I mean, the gun is like the great equalizer.
I love this argument. I haven't heard it in a while, but
I mean, I
can't believe people aren't really saying this. They got to be saying this.
Guns are like the big equalizer. I mean, they take that guy who's 3 times a woman's size and full of muscle and make it so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Or it matters little. Whereas without it, it's like 99 to 1. You know, they'll be destroyed.
It is the shooting in yourself in the foot, women kind of like it's classic at this point.
Yeah, I wait, and all these guys who are all this lawlessness, they pick on women more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They pick on women because they're easy. They're like easy targets, and yet they're voting for this kind of stuff. It's and I totally feel that if things kept on going down the same road, they have their right for abortion and right for these other things. I think they'll lose those rights, and
Bingo.
they're blown. They're like blind to this.
Bingo.
They're totally blind to this. It's like, this is
anger
just cause and
explains
effect. This is just cause and effect, of
Anger
the whole
and ego
thing.
explains all this. The effects of
Okay.
anger and ego in the mind explain the super rich nuking the country they're living in. Explains the women and the minorities willing to plunge the country to hell.
Yeah.
Hey, so I was looking up stuff. I was trying to find out. I don't know. It just came. I was just like, technology's cool, right? And I was looking up some stuff. I was trying to find out about the soldier of the future. What will the soldier of the future be like? And I came across this U.S. Army video. Tell me, Bill, what do you think? Is this ridiculous or is this based in reality? And does it make you want to join the military? Why are you laughing? This is the soldier of the future. Clothing, regionally adaptive counter ensemble, novel functional fabrics, and adaptive signature management, health status monitoring. A microclimate vest, adaptive body heat cooling regulation, increased endurance, supports broad spectrum deployment environments, whatever that means. Why are you laughing, Bill?
I don't think this. This is over the top.
Is this a video game?
Yeah.
Have they been playing too much Halo?
But to be honest, I think we'll have like.
I've seen these exoskeletons a little bit, but
Yeah,
nowhere
but I think-
near this development. Not even close.
Right, but we have AI and we have robots coming along, and at some point we're gonna have those running around, and I think it's likely those will be around before all that technology gets around, and they won't
Drones.
be worth it.
Right. Good point. Yeah. You shoot this guy's. Look, they say this is back. Look at this. Look at this part. Human dimensions. Later in a moment here, they'll highlight this backpack and say how it's like the power source for all of this technology. Imagine getting the backpack shot. It's like, oh great, there goes our $10 million soldier, disabled if not dead. These are expensive soldiers. They better be killing and living instead of alive.
Right. But like I said, I don't think.
You think this is a little
By the
too
time-
Halo? Too much Halo?
By the time they get the technology to do all that you're seeing right there, they'll have robots around. It's like maybe they'll have like one guy and he'll be like, I don't know, he'll have like 50 robots with him, and he'll be directing them what to do, or something like that. I mean, but short of that, no, I think.
Yeah, this is like I think they're trying to just get the gamers to join the army. I think they've seen their really low recruitment, and they're like, well, who do we get? Oh, we gotta get the gamers. They love the shooting. They love shooting, and I know this is my theory. And it's like ballistics is just to actually stop bullets in all the areas they're saying, like the weight they gotta carry. I mean, modern ballistics, it's just whatever. I know I'm just being an armchair general, but I wanted to show Bill here what he thought. And if I was off base and seeing this as ridiculous as well.
they're not going to have anything that can stop all bullets. You just have to have a bigger gun.
Right.
And that's all there is, especially man-to-man combat, hand-to-hand combat.
After a certain amount of kinetic energy, even if you stop the bullet, you're still dying.
Well, but that too. But I mean, just the amount of armor you'd have to put on to stop the bullet is just it's prohibitive. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we got callers coming in. Thank you so much. 888-775-3773. Your name and where you calling from? Hey, caller, we're talking to you.
Jaime from Minnesota.
What's up, Jaime? Appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, I think Ronnie was asking about how many illegals came in under Trump and then under Biden.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or was that Frederick?
Was that on
JLP?
I forget honestly if that was Frederick or if that was Ronnie. I believe that was Ronnie on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
It was 2.something million, 2.8 million under Trump. My estimate from the graph that I looked at, and 10 point something for Biden. Alleged numbers.
For sure, it was more with Biden, and I remember thinking that when whoever said, I'm pretty sure it was Ronnie. I was thinking, well, it's something. I'm sure Trump didn't let in almost 8 million plus. You're telling me 10 plus million. I was thinking, there's whatever you can have your criticisms, but Trump did not let in 10 million people.
Right. Also, Trump. Most of those people came in those first 2 or 3 years, and then it started to. He finally got it under control, and it was much lower. If you look at it.
Man, thanks for the data there, Jaime.
What was Frederick asking about? He was asking about Ukraine, but man, I think
he had a good question. He had a fine question about why did Trump give if he says he's the guy who's going to stop this war with Ukraine. Why did he give Ukraine basically like fund Ukraine? And the details of that funding too, I believe, are important. But why did he fund Ukraine during his presidency? Which is a fine question, but he said that question to deflect and the purpose of the question was silly. It was to deflect and try and basically say that Kamala would be better in peace in the world. Like, that's ridiculous. No war started with Trump, and Trump could. I think Trump is the only one who's expressed. Oh, my bad. I'm not showing myself. Trump is the only one who's expressed a willingness to do an actual deal. They say he'll cry out and say it's horrible. He wants to let Putin win and give him parts of Ukraine, but Trump is the only one willing to make a deal to avoid war. Go ahead.
Right, and Trump was saying the war needs to end. It needs to end. That old boy Putin would have been much happier there in Moscow with 310,000 living soldiers. And I think that was a very important point when he made that. And, Kamala ain't thinking about that. She's not thinking about, life, people's lives. Don't care.
Yeah.
There's one other thing I want to tell you. Can't think of it. Maybe tomorrow.
Call me tomorrow, Jaime.
Show.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again. 888-775-3773. Real quick, super chats. You guys rock. Thank you so much for the support. We got super chats. We got Pablo says, great show. I think there's a diminishing gradient of democracy where democratic influence is stronger at the local level, but weakens as we move to the international level. Thank you for the commentary, Pablo. Terry Strange, Glizzy's in the chat. This is in the form of a super chat, but you know what that means. Glizzy's in the chat. Can we get Glizzy's in the chat? Appreciate it. Terry Strange kicking it off. Kamala Sal, Bizarro C-Sal. Is this even C-Sal? Who is this? Kamala Sal, with a little super chat, says, you're a genius, Fred. That's some Kamala cackles. You're a genius, Fred. Thank you, Kamala Sal. And all the supporters on Rumble. Jules Verne, Ohio Sentinel, always there, will never be forgotten. And everybody on D Live, thank you. Let's see here. The soldier of the future. You know about this Haitian stuff, right? I'm sure you heard about the Haitians. They keep talking about the Haitians. If you're French, you'd say you won't pronounce the H. They're the Haitians if you're Québécois. And you know when the francophones in Quebec, when they say we want to keep Quebec French, they don't mean Haitian French. They mean white French. They're not talking about, there's some people in Quebec, in Canada, who there's this movement. They want to keep Quebec French. And, some say that's like dog whistling for, because it's not every kind of French, because you could then feasibly let in a whole bunch of Haitians. But that's not what they mean. So I'm sure you know about the Haitians. And the eating the animals, they're eating the cats, they're arguing about this like video where this woman is eating a cat. She's literally eating a cat. And she kills a cat, but she's an American citizen. And so they keep sharing this video. And so they're like missing each other. The two sides, they're like, but there's video proof. And then the liberals are like, oh my God, they're sharing misinformation again. And then they're like, oh, I can't believe they're doubling down on lies. They're literally, it's crazy, man. But it's crazy more than anything, people teaming up with the media when you got people like this, okay? When you got people like this, whatever nitpicking you can do on getting the story wrong on, for example, that one case I'm talking about, what do you say to this?
But I'd like to talk about, everyone is talking about the death of ducks and cats in this town, but I'd like to talk about the death of one very special person, my mother-in-law, Kathy Heaton. On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A task she had done over 2,000 times, spanning 4 decades in Springfield. That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment, not even for the expired tags on the vehicle he was driving. Months before she was killed, I began noticing the reckless driving and complete disregard for our driving laws by some members of the Haitian community. It made me angry. But now my anger has turned to fear for the safety of my family and the citizens of Springfield. I'd been to Haiti 14 years ago. My husband and I went, and it was my first time in a third world country. I sobbed when I saw the poverty living there, and I have great empathy and compassion for them, longing for a safe place to call home. But 14 years later, I'm living in fear in my own city. It's not safe. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town. I'm haunted by the faces I saw when I had to bear the news to my children and husband that she was dead. Their grandmother, the very person who tucked my 7-year-old twins into bed just 6 hours before on her 71st birthday, was never coming back. What everyone has feared is my reality, and it's my grief, and it should be yours as well. It saddens me greatly to think about leaving a place I've made a home, raised my children.
Okay, there we get it. But yeah, apparently it's chaos on the streets of Springfield now. They're crashing. They are smashing their vehicles. They are driving recklessly. It's apparently an absolute mess. I mean, how can you even go against that? Real quick, another one for you. This is one that maybe will get you guys talking a little bit. Another similar case, parents of the boy who was killed by a Haitian illegal in Springfield, take this in, say they wish a white person killed him because Republicans are criticizing illegals. Tell me your country's never coming back without telling me your country's never coming back, as they say.
You know, in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. And I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces. But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate. And look what you've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose. And speaking of morally bankrupt, politicians, Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, they have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio.
I mean, you're allowed to. Sorry, man. You're allowed to mention things that happen, and I'll say one thing. Like, I'm not gonna say that there's no hate coming from the people criticizing the Haitians, but so you know, I'll say that. But he seems to care about politics more than anything. It's like you can't show the world that they can affect you like this. You can't show the world that you can't speak about Aiden. What an offense against me.
That was a hater.
Who?
Him.
He's a hater.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a hater. And the hater comes up with his, like I said, the haters come up with their solutions.
Oof.
And you were just watching it right there.
Yep. You literally said it earlier. Yep. This is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
They come up with solutions, false solutions
Right.
in their anger. That's what they got. They got to come up. They have to come up with an answer.
Right.
To all this anger. How dare you use his name?
Right. So when you can do nothing, they can't really do nothing. When there is no solution, they can't really not have a solution. It's like, I guess the Democrats, one of the things they've been accused of, and I think it's true, is they come up with some programs to deal with people who are homeless or whatever. And what you get? More people who are homeless.
Wow, yeah.
You get 3 times as people because the solution wasn't really a solution. It was just a bunch of haters coming up with hater ideas, basically.
If only we had some common sense. The solution is making more of it. Mental health, more crazy people. It's like mental health pills, crazier people. It's like everything's all the solution. Let's stop homeless. Welfare for homeless. More homeless.
Try to make everything easy, and the problem is with trying to make things easy. A lot of times is that it not being easy is the thing that kind of straightens people out. With a lot of supposedly mental problems and stuff like that. Not everything, though.
Caller, you're on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's him, Diddy.
What's up, him Diddy? Canada in the house. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
All is well. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about this Haitian issue and the retaliation. And
Haitian. No, you sounded more patois though. You sound more patois. The Haitians speak French. You sound like a Toronto badman. Badman.
So
go
I
ahead.
mean, I think that the situation could be remedied with a little American ingenuity. I mean, if you just drop the Haitians off somewhere where they're needed rather than somewhere they don't fit in. So like they seem to be doing a pretty good job at cleaning up pests. So you could first drop them off in L.A. and they have cannibalistic tendencies, so they could clean up the homeless crowd there. And
Whoa.
then,
I thought we were talking about maybe rats. I thought we were talking about rats or something.
Yeah.
I guess there's still rats in your mind, huh?
Once you get done with the homeless in L.A., then you can ship them across to New York and have them play on the subway tracks and clean up the rats.
Just sick them on new different issues, American issues.
Yeah, and then the subway trains clean up that problem all by itself too afterwards. Yeah.
Man, this is what Canada's producing, Bill. It's bad up there, man. They're jaded. It's like just sick the Haitians on the homeless, man. Just sick them on them. Just do it.
Yeah, the homeless problem in Canada is horrible.
Oh, really? You know, I saw it. I saw kind of it getting worse, especially when I visited a couple years ago. But I saw like my first tent. I never seen a tent in the city of Toronto, downtown.
Yeah, since COVID, Hamilton has declared a state of emergency for homelessness.
Hamilton is not so good. Shout out the Hammer, but Hamilton is just it's not been good.
I thought Canada would be too cold to be for homeless.
Look, that's what I kind of used. I used to call winter.
You gotta be smart to be homeless.
I used to right. You do. You got to be a little smart. I used to call winter the cooling.
The culling?
The culling. You know, it's just, but you know, it's whatever. You know, you got to be smart.
Yeah.
But
it's why we don't have any stray cats or dogs up there. They just get cleaned up every winter.
they have they have these grates in the city, right, where the subway. You know, there's a whole subway train system, and so they have these like open. And they have grates over them. I'm sure they're out here too. But in Canada in the winter, they're always blowing up like hot air. So I've seen the homeless like take over those spots and kind of protect themselves in a constant aura of heat out during winters. I've seen that.
Oh,
yeah. But no, the situation, Ontario has 2/3 of the population of California and twice the homeless people.
Amazing. Wow, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, just Canada itself has less population than all of California.
Yeah.
And 2/3 of it is they're concentrated.
I've also heard that inflation is like worse up there than it is here, or the cost of groceries and stuff like that is actually worse.
There's
Everything is more expensive in Canada except for coffee and something else.
You don't say. Coffee.
Wow, coffee.
Yeah. Coffee's cheap. Well, I mean, a Tim Hortons coffee was like $2 Canadian. In the States, it's like $3-something for a Dunkin' Donuts.
More. It's like $3. It's like $3, almost $4 for a medium coffee at McDonald's McCafe.
Yeah, so Americans are paying Canadian Starbucks prices for the cheapest coffee.
I was going to ask you. In housing. Don't even get started on housing. I know one super expert on real estate. He says California and Canada are two housing markets he does not even touch.
Yeah.
But Diddy, man, thanks for your call. We got to move along quick. We're almost getting to the end of the show. Anything else you want to say here?
No.
Appreciate your call, sir. Call me again.
Cheers.
Rocking through the calls real quick. Thank you so much. You're on the air. Go ahead. Your name and where are you calling from?
Kyle from Ohio.
Appreciate your call, Kyle. Go ahead.
I just want to say you're awesome. You're based. First time calling. And, that's all I really wanted to say. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Kyle. You found the show through Jesse, the Bond Network?
Yep. I heard him talking about you and Hake for a while before I really caught on. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I heard a little bit and I wasn't really hooked. And then I listened to a couple episodes and was like, oh, wait, I see what this is about.
Man,
and I appreciate it.
Thank you for the patience, man. I'm growing and developing myself. So we'll work on the hooks. But, man, I appreciate the commentary. And if you have any criticisms, I'd love to hear it.
No, man, I like your style. And I like how you handle calls. And I agree with almost all your views. So just want to shout you out.
Thank you, sir. Call me again.
Will do. Thanks.
Your name and where you calling from. Go ahead.
Hello, Nick.
No, Maze, what's up, Maze?
Oh,
My heart is full.
What's with the animals? I mean, you got one man running for president talking about killing bears and eating them and doing different things, and now you got some talking about somebody else eating
Who's eating bears?
Kennedy, saying where he went the bear.
Kennedy eating bears?
Stuff. I mean, what's with this?
That's pretty base, don't you think? That's kind of tough. That's not an easy thing to do.
Huh?
Eat a bear?
It's an American.
Wait, what are you?
So,
are you saying
and then the
hunting a bear? Are you talking about hunting a bear and actually hunting a bear and butchering it and cooking it?
The bear or something he said that he did with the bear.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's
you need
just
to
Well, that's just being efficient. You don't want to let it go to waste. That's just ridiculous, man.
Really?
I hear they're spicy.
So anyway,
really? They got
the meat
it's
is
just really
spicy.
crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And what does it got to do with?
Well, are you saying this Kennedy is basically a Haitian? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying he's a Haitian.
Or are you saying that these Haitians are basically Americans?
No,
if
I'm
Americans
saying
are,
these people eat animals.
Are you saying that these Haitians are?
Americans do it too.
Are you saying? Oh, okay.
That's
and
what I'm
Americans
saying.
do it too. Do what?
And he was
too?
running for president, so he killed some little.
Bill, would you say? Bill, would you say
little bear.
there's? Bill, would you say there's a little bit of difference between an
No.
American? No, Mate says. Bill, would you say there's a little difference between an American driving his car, running over a bear, and this person is, a hunter, maybe knows about this stuff, butchers
And they
it
don't
up,
want to know how many drunk drivers.
as
kill
opposed to a
nobody don't
Haitian
know.
migrant running around the streets of a city, not even rural, picking up birds where he sees them and butchering them up. Would you say there's a little bit of a difference?
There's a difference.
No, Nick. What I'm saying is, how many drunk drivers run over and kill people and nobody know who did it? And they have to take years to find them.
I'm not sure, Maze.
I would know- I
Is
would
it
like to
significant?
know.
What's your point with that?
Your little video you played, your little tape you played with the lady talking about somebody ran over
Right.
her mother. It doesn't necessarily have to be a foreigner that do stuff like that. Do it
Not necessarily.
because Americans go over to other countries and run over people too. Did
Okay.
you know that?
Would you say that's wrong, the drunk drivers?
It is wrong.
Right. I
Well, you gotta
agree.
make a big deal
Would
out
you
of it.
also agree with
As
me
if
that it's
all
wrong
Haitians-
that an illegal Haitian migrant was doing this as well? And they're not even drunk. They're just
I'm saying in
they're
other
just
countries,
literally
Americans-
such reckless drivers, and this one in particular as well that had killed someone. Would you say that's
Well,
wrong as well? Would you say that's wrong as well, Maze?
I was wondering why you played it. I mean, what was the point?
Because it's happening, and people
Oh,
are
really?
denying that it's happening.
Oh, and it's happening
Like
in other
you-
countries, like it's happening here.
Are you denying that
You know
that's
I'm from Canada.
Maze? The
Why can't
Haitians are
Americans do
Haitians are driving their vehicles into sides of buildings at a disproportionate rate, Maze.
Well, okay,
and
y'all found-
you
y'all
say
was-
you say the Springfield residents just have to take that because
Really?
because drunk drivers exist. You say
Yes.
that these Springfield residents they just should shut up and take this mess because
I mean,
don't you have
it's
drunk
just a
drivers in
fetish
America?
that y'all have. You
Is
gotta
that
find-
is that what you're saying, Maze?
No, you just got to find somebody to pick on.
Maze, is that what you're saying? You're saying these Springfield residents better just take it and shut up because you got drunk drivers in America. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So then what are you saying, Maze?
I'm saying that you all want to make somebody just because it happened to be some person from some other place that did it. You got to make a big deal out of it. If you made a big deal out of the drunk drivers in America, the ones that drunk
But it
drive
is a big deal.
America, it should be the same deal.
But it is a big deal, Maze.
Well, it's not about the people
It's
that's in
one thing to
America
have
driving.
drunk drivers, but it's another thing to suddenly plop 20,000 migrants that are completely different from the people there
migrants are not
in a
doing
city
anything.
whose population is just 58,000. They plop 20,000 people in there, and they're driving way worse than the people. They're eating the chickens. They're raising hell way worse than the people that are already there that probably raise hell and drunk drive too, just like you said.
Nick, you sound a
That is ridiculous, Maze. Come on,
Yeah, no, come on.
that is a big deal. You want to
Really?
minimize that, but that is a big deal.
You're making it a big deal.
But white people eat bears, right?
And then you're always saying that is how do you say it? Is people hate people? I don't. The people that hate people are the ones. Do you think they're gonna hate Taylor Swift?
What?
Do you think they're gonna hate Taylor Swift for what she just did?
Who?
Her 3 million voters that she just gave to America.
Who?
You think they're gonna hate her because of what she did?
Who? Like Republicans?
Huh?
Who? Like Republicans? Yeah, I think
Whoever.
I think they'll dislike that. Sure.
Why?
Because they're not voting for their guy.
That's what I'm trying to say. So they get upset because
But here's
somebody
why
not
I mean
voting-
by hate. Because
I thought you had the right.
in this
you said you
case,
always say
because
they
Maze,
hate,
I bet you Maze doesn't mean Maze
What
doesn't.
does hate look like?
I
Nick,
bet
is what I
you.
wanna know.
What does hate look like? I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I bet you Maze does not use
Right.
the word hate the way I use it. Because
No.
to me, hold on, Maze.
actually
I'm
in a
explaining.
different
Hold
way.
on, Maze. I'll tell you. Because to me, someone who has hate is someone who simply even just has anger. Someone who is you're able to provoke them emotionally. Someone who thinks emotionally. I call all those things hate. I bet you don't use it to that level. And so hold on, Maze. I'm explaining, Maze. And so here's how I used hate when I was talking about the election and all that. Yeah, there's people who are going to see Taylor Swift and they're going to be like, "Why aren't you voting for my team?" Sure. But come on, Maze, can you really compare that to, for example, women? They'll even say they don't hate men, but they hate everything about men.
Some Some of
They
them
hate
do.
everything about them. They hate everything that
Men do
makes
the
them
same
men.
thing.
They hate
Some
them
women do
being.
hate men.
They hate them
That's why they
speaking
don't have
freely.
one. Some men
They
hate
hate
women.
them.
That's why they don't
They
have
hate them being heads of the home. They hate everything that makes them a man.
No. That's not what
Meanwhile,
I'm-
you got Republicans who are just. They're going to be like, oh, Taylor Swift. Why?
The
Tell
white
me,
thing I'm
Maze.
talking
Which
about
one
niggas
is
when
more
you wanna go out and
hateful? Tell
harm
me,
somebody
Maze.
just
Which one's
because
more
of their
hateful?
opinions.
Did you hear anything I said, Maze?
You got to have security and all this stuff on some crazy people want to go harm somebody because they hate so much. Don't you think those people need to be just put somewhere
No.
off the planet?
No. Those are pretty decent people, Maze. They're not. They're
And
just
then they
like.
turn around and say they're Christian.
I'd rather a person going like, "Oh, Taylor Swift, why'd you do that?" than someone who's like, who hates everything about masculinity.
You want to hate just like they went up to the Capitol and tried to tear the place down because that was hate. You don't see that as hate, do you?
What?
When they went to the Capitol and what they did on
It was maybe not advised. It was
What was
maybe
it?
it was maybe even
What was
born.
that?
Hold on, it was maybe even born. It was maybe the idea was maybe even formed in a
That's what I
state
call
for
hate.
some. The vast majority, Maze, the vast majority of people did not enter, and even the ones that entered,
I'm not
the
saying
vast
just being there
majority
was
did not
hate.
even do vandalism.
Just
But I'll
being
give
there
you
hate.
this, Maze. Some of those people were motivated by by not logic, but by emotion, by the spirit of anger and the spirit of emotion, which is not logic.
Could you let
How's that?
somebody teach you
What's that for an answer? Okay, let's move on to something else. Go ahead.
I'm saying, can you let people teach you to hate people? Or do you want to learn to know the people before you hate them? Just because somebody told you need to.
Say that again. Maze, you're making Bill's
Hello?
head hurt. Bill's head hurts now. But what?
you
Can
hang
you
up?
repeat what you just said? Maze and I. Maze.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I generally speaking, I have to slow down in life. Like that's one of my biggest flaws. But when I speak to Maze, I could just like, I don't need to slow down. We're just both on the same level. We're just like, we're up. Maze, did I lose you? Oh man, Maze, my heart is full. Call me again. Appreciate your call, Maze. I think it cut out there, or she gave me the click. What the? This is why I need to slow down. I even turned off Maze. I even pushed Maze away. What a mess.
How'd you push Maze away?
I'm crazy, Bill.
Sorry,
I'm insane.
said you hung with Maze long enough.
All right, folks. What can I say? That's been the show. Bill's been with us. I've been having fun. I've been having fun with the callers. Bill's with me. But we're pretty much there, folks. That's been 2 hours. Hold up. Real quick, before we go, could this be? Who are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Excuse me?
Maze.
Yes.
I
what happened?
almost thought it must have been a technical thing.
Oh, it
Please
really
tell me it was technical and not
It
personal.
must have been on your end.
I think so.
Okay. Well, as I was saying, do you need people to teach you how to hate people, or should you form your own opinion of what you don't like? Or
You
have
should
somebody-
definitely form your own opinion.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not what
yeah.
I hear every day.
You think so?
I don't.
What makes you say that? You might be right.
But when you hear why you hate Kamala, you always say people hate Trump,
Uh-huh.
and you always say people hate. But where did it come from? Did you form your opinion to hate that person?
No, it's
Or
evident.
can't you
It's
dislike
evident.
something somebody is doing and not hate them?
No, it's evident when they have anger. They have anger towards the people they're talking
that's
to.
y'all use anger. That's y'all.
Yeah. You don't think anger's evil?
Well, that's y'all committed. That's how y'all use it.
Do you think anger's evil,
But
Maze?
we see hate in a different way. When I say
I guess so.
when you hate something, and then people gotta go want to harm something and tear up something because they hate something or somebody got them doing it. That's why those people are in jail today. If they would have stayed at home and got rid of, as you call it, anger and they hatred, they wouldn't have went and tore that Capitol up like that. No, would they?
I think you may be somewhat correct, but I don't know if you even know that. Because they were. I don't think the very small minority who went in and actually even broke stuff. I don't think they were motivated by reason. That was
I'm talking
emotion,
what was
anger,
the purpose of going in there to do that?
impulse. The
then people don't
purpose. Well, that's an interesting question, Maze, because now you're bringing intention, which most people want to ignore. And now you're bringing in intention, I wonder if this matters to you, Maze. You really think those people went in there with the intention to hurt or even undo democracy? They wanted fair elections. They wanted to uphold the law. What do you
but
think
they
about
wanted
that?
to hang Mike Pence. So what did they have to do with?
What are you talking about, Maze? Who
They
wanted
said
to do
hang
that?
Mike Pence. They had a noose outside, and they were saying,
Okay,
hang
that
Mike
was
Pence.
like
So they wanted to kill
that
the
was
vice
like
president, too.
that was angry, messy people.
So what was the purpose?
The purpose for the vast majority, their intention was to uphold the law.
They wanted to make Mike Pence break the law, and he didn't.
No, that was also to uphold the law. They were talking about Mike Pence to use his powers, his constitutional powers. They didn't want Mike Pence to break the law.
What was he doing then if he wouldn't have followed the Constitution and did what somebody wanted him to do?
They wanted him to do something that was like in the law, not
That
against
was
the law.
unlawful.
No.
That's what they wanted him to do.
According to you.
According to the law?
Nope.
I would suppose.
Nope.
Because if it wasn't, they broke the law because some of them went to jail, didn't they?
Right, but like overreach.
If they was not there as Christians,
They went to. They're going to. Maze. They put him in jail for put him in jail for obstructing an election. What was obstructed? Biden became president. There was no obstruction.
No, they told the inside of that building up. I mean, like all of the stuff that they did in there.
They broke some things, but they were quite. They were pretty. They stayed in the stanchions. They didn't even. They maybe took Kamala. They took Kamala. They took Nancy Pelosi's. I forget her podium thing. But tear it up, Maze. Come on. They did not tear it up. Come on, Maze. Remember they came out with.
Remember security kind of taking them on a tour.
Yeah.
And I want to know what that lady.
Maze, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, it was a tour.
Bill just ended your career.
And all of that didn't happen on tour. That's not how you do a tour, going tearing up places and doing all that in there. But what I'm saying,
tell the police that. Tell the Capitol Police who were on video having a fine old time with these rioters, so-called rioters, and showing them the Capitol. Go watch the videos.
Then you have some police go to jail, too, for being involved in that?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? We need to know. We don't think.
Nice, Maze. Can you do the research and tell us?
I'd like for you to do your own research.
All right.
And then I would say, well, didn't I ask you that? And did you go find out? You did. So now how do you feel?
All right. I'll do that.
That's the way I do stuff. I don't try to use people's brains for them. I want them to use
Fair
it for
enough.
themselves so they will know what's going on.
Maze, do you like Joel Friday's show?
Huh?
You like Joel Friday's show? I asked because you were talking. Nice. I do too. I asked because you brought up independent people who formulate their own opinions, and one person that comes to mind is Joel.
What about Joel?
That he is like that. He forms his own opinion.
Nah, he don't.
I
don't think so.
Whatever, Maze.
Well, yes. But anyway, I think it was one cop.
What?
That just went to prison for being a part of that. I think.
I'm going to do my homework, Maze.
I want you to do your homework, and then you tell. After you find out, and then
I will
we'll discuss it. I'll leave it like that. Is something wrong with that?
I think that's actually a fine way of leaving
Because the
things.
discussion cannot. Just because somebody having a discussion doesn't mean that they gotta hate somebody.
That is a fine
just
statement.
Because you don't like what somebody's doing, that don't mean you gotta hate them. Do you?
No lies said there, Maze.
And like, if you don't like what somebody's saying, you gotta hate them, and then go try to harm them.
Now that's
And then
ridiculous.
security got to be around them. So
That's what we talk about all the time. We say that all the time. You
shouldn't be like
can't.
that.
You can disagree, but you can't have anger. You can't have hate. We always disavow violence. That's how we talk. I'm glad we agree on these things,
You
Maze.
can disavow it, but it's still there.
What do you mean?
You-
We
those
do
Christians
not want violence.
those
We talk about love your enemy.
Those
That's what we
Christians got
do.
to work on it. That's what they got to do. Work on it,
Fair enough.
not to harm.
I'm gonna do my homework, Maze.
Because if the commandments say thou shalt not kill, and you got something ready to go do some harm to people just because of something crazy that they heard and they made.
Yeah, I mean they're so mad. They heard white people
And it
are keeping
wasn't
you
right.
down. White people are racist against you, and they heard they're doing C-sections on black women disproportionately. It must be
Yeah, I heard you
racism.
read
I
that
agree.
today.
They
What
hear all sorts of things and they go nuts out there, Maze.
What you
It's
think about that,
crazy.
Nick?
I agree.
What do you think about that?
About C-sections?
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
don't know.
nothing new.
I don't know. I've been
That's not all they ever
hearing about racist medicine with black women mothers, but also I heard that I heard that they're also usually unhealthy. But Maze, I gotta go. It's the end of the show.
Okay, well, you have a good one.
Call me again. We'll talk about C-sections and everything else.
No, yeah, we will. Have a good one.
Bye bye. All right, y'all. That's it. Appreciate everything. Take care. I'm out. See you tomorrow. Maybe Plantation stream tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know what we do tomorrow. Take care, y'all. Peace.